start working with Snort to analyze live and capture traffic. Before joining this room, we suggest completing the Snort attack. Once you stop the attack properly, you will have the flag on the desktop. Here are a few pointers. Console flag. Block. You need to stop the, or what is the name of port in the attack? Find the port. A protocol mode is reject or drop packet, right? All right, so go ahead and try this out yourself, and then come back to the video, and we will walk through it together. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and continue. Hopefully, you were able to find these answers yourself. If not, no worries. We're going to walk through it together. First things first, before we can even get the flag, we need to solve these other two, apparently. First one says, what is the name of this service under attack? The next one is the protocol/port in the attack. All right, first things first, what you can do is do an IPA so you can get a picture of your interfaces on this machine here. All right, so we're going to take a look at ETH0. Here, you have ETH1 down there, so you can take note of the IP addresses and the subnets they're on, as we can see there, right? All right, so that's out of the way. We're going to clear the screen. Then I'm going to go ahead and just check my notes here. Okay, so we need to identify the source of the attack, right? So I'm going to use this here, snort dash dev dash L, right? So I'm going to run this on the current directory that we're in. And if you want to find that out, you can just print do pwd print working directory. Okay. So anyway, clear this out. I'm going to paste this in. Now run in sniffer mode. So we're going to let this run for a little bit, probably a few seconds or so we can collect some packets. And then after we collect the packets, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the information inside those packets to see if we can identify the source of the attack. So we're going to let this run for about, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds or so we can just collect some packets here. All right, I think this should be enough here, so I'm going to go ahead and kill it with Control C. All right, so we collected a total of 1,374, looks like. So we can do an ls, and we can see that there's a log file there. And what we can do is take a look at that log file. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to go ahead and just reference my notes, copy and paste here. We're going to read it using this command here, this -r, and then file. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy this over, paste it in, clear all this out just to make it nice and neat. Okay, and then I'm just going to tap complete it. There we go. Now we're going to read it. Now, as you're sifting through this particular file here, you're going to go through and try to find suspicious activity, right? Just like any type of investigation. You're going to find something that looks suspicious inside of this particular file, hopefully. So I'm going to scroll up a little bit. If it's lagging a little bit. But anyway, so as you're scrolling through here, you can see that this particular IP and port is referenced quite a bit, right? And it's going to target this here. So this is the source, this is the destination, flag a particular type of file here, and then I'm just going to tap complete it. There we go. Now we're going to read it. Now, as you're sifting through this particular file here, you're going to go through and try to find suspicious activity, right? Just like any type of investigation. You're going to find something that looks suspicious inside of this particular file, hopefully. So I'm going to scroll up a little bit. If it's lagging a little bit. But anyway, so as you're scrolling through here, you can see that this particular IP and port is referenced quite a bit, right? And it's going to target this here. So this is the source, this is the destination, and you see this reference several times. So to me, that sounds kind of suspicious, right? And if you want to do some further digging, you want to clean this up a little bit, we're going to go ahead and clear the screen. Okay, since we know that 22 is referenced quite a bit in that file, what you can do is do the same command and parameters, right? This time we're going to sift for just port 22. Or you can use grep as well. You should get similar results. So if we wanted to do it this way via Snort, we're going to try it, and it should just give us that information on port 22. It comes back if I can reference the correct file. So let's try that again. And so that's another way to clean it up a little bit. And then grep is awesome. So we're going to paste this in like so. Ah, I did it again. All right, so let's try this again. Tab complete. Now I'll run it. There we go. See how it's referenced port 22, and you can see this IP here. This appears to be the attacker IP attacking our systems on port 22, doing a brute force attack. And we know SSH is going to be probably running on that port, right? That's the port that it uses. So what is the name of the service under attack? We're going to type in SSH here. Bam. What is the protocol and port used? So it's going to be TCP. So SSH uses, and then the port's going to be 22, as we can see there, with the colon separated, right? Next thing we need to do is stop the attack, so we can do that with either drop or reject packets. So if I'm going to reference my notes again, right? So we're going to need to go in and edit the rules file, the local.rules file. So you can use mousepad, nano, whatever tool you're comfortable with, and then you can either use drop or reject. Now, what does that mean for drop to reject? If you go back and reference your notes, hopefully you took, then you can see what it does here. So drop says block and log the packet, and then reject says block the packet, log it, and terminate the packet session. And then, of course, we need to put in the direction with the rules. So we have source to destination flow. They have bidirectional. I'm going to use bidirectional flow for this, right? And hopefully you all have several notes. I just copy and pasted from that Snort room. So these are just my notes here to reference. We're going to put in IPS mode here, and this just breaks down every parameter so I can just easily reference it, okay? Um, okay, so there's nothing in here yet, but we're going to add that rule. So I'm going to go back over here and copy, paste it over here. So we're going to drop that, drop those packets. It's running on TCP for the protocol, NANE for source, and source IP and source port. So bidirectional, any into source or destination IP, and then the port's going to be 22. Message here, you can put whatever you want in here. I just put SSH brute force attack prevented because we're preventing it by blocking it, right? And I specifically state that this is dropped instead of rejected, okay? SID could be whatever you want for the rule. SID, which is the snort ID for the rule, and then the revision is going to be 1 because this is the first one we're doing for this particular rule. So we're going to copy this over and paste like so. particular role. So we're going to copy this over and paste like so. Okay, that looks good to go. So I'm going to hit Control S to save the file. No, we don't need this anymore. Close it out. Okay, so it should be good to go there. Now we need to run it, and then it says run for like a minute or so, I believe, and then we should see the flag over there. So I don't think you even need this last part here. So I'm just going to copy this here and paste it over. Okay, actually, I don't know if you need a dash L or not, but let's go ahead and hit enter and see what it does. Yeah, so we need to specify that. Let me take that out. All right. we're just going to do it this way. This lag is just killing me. Oh, man. All right, now it's running. Parsing rules, doing its thing here. So once this runs for, I think, a minute or so, we should get that flag on the desktop there. Fatal error. All right, I had to go back and fix this here because I had a semicolon instead of a colon here for the revision. Anyway, so once that's fixed, go ahead and try to run it again, and it should work. Now let's try this again. Okay, it's going and doing its thing here. And you can always check your reference notes if you want to see a further explanation of what everything does here, this dash Q and everything here. It explains here in the previous Snort room what it does. Okay, Snort IPS mode activated with dash. Okay. All right, we can see that says, congratulations, you successfully stopped this attack. Done. So we're going to go ahead and just click that default action. Then we're going to kill this. Awesome. And then here's the flag. Got it. So now we're done with this task. We continue on to the next task here. Hey everybody, this is WarDogSec. Just a quick reminder to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Once you hit the notification bell, be sure to set to all notifications so you know every time I post to the channel, upload a video, all that good stuff. Let's continue to grow our glorious community here. We are in the cyber trenches. We're not just reporting on it. Be sure to check out my channel as well. I have tons of. Be sure to channel here. Anyway, 3 scenario 2 team Java. Scam traffic. We have stopped some inbound access attempts, so we didn't let the bad guys get in. How about the bad guys who are already inside? Also, no need to mention the insider risk, huh? The dwell time is still around 1 to 3 months, and I am quite new here, so it is worth checking the outgoing traffic as well. Java stir persistent outbound traffic is detected, possibly verified, and then we should come back to the video yourself. Is that we need to identify the protocol port, and then we need to figure out the port number, or what tool uses that port number. Okay, so first things first, sniffer mode. There we go. Firing it off, let it collect some packets for us, then let that run for a little bit. Once this finishes running, it should create that log file that we can go in and further analyze with our dash R here. Okay, so I'm gonna go get this ready to go because we're gonna need to take a look at that file and swing back over here. Okay, I think that should be enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit Control C to kill it. Here we go, 3,530. Awesome. So now we're gonna do a clear of the screen. Okay, LS on it. Awesome. So now I'm going to paste that in, and this time I'm going to tap complete. There we go. So let's take a look at this file. All right, so right off the bat there, we saw some strange port number in there, as it was briefly on the screen here. See that it's referencing this 4444 port number. And if you've ever done any type of CTFs or anything like that, you've probably already recognized that right off the bat what this tool is probably going to be, right? Or that this is commonly used port number for a reverse cell or something like that. Maybe Netcat listener or whatever. But anyway, so once this is done loading up, we can take a look at that. But let's pretend that you don't know what that port number is. So if you don't know what this is, you can go ahead and do a quick Google search, or you can use AI to help you determine what tool could possibly be using this as like a default setting or something like that. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and filter this out. And I'm just going to use grep here. So we're going to filter on port 4444 because that one appears to be the suspicious port. Clear all this out. Now, in the real world, obviously, it's not going to probably be this straightforward. You got to sift that dash. If you have a ton of packets to look through, you can use that to try to determine or try to slim that down a lot inside of here. Use AI. Go ahead and go to like that. So then so we're going to know the protocol be / 4444. Bam. So now we need to build out a rule to block this traffic. And let's go ahead and do that here. I'm just going to head and copy and paste from my notes here. So we need to edit this dot rules file again. So let's go ahead and open up in mousepad. Use whatever text editor you deem easy to use for yourself. So go ahead and copy. This time, let's go ahead and try this reject one. I'm pretty sure it's going to work the same way as the other one. And we're going to be able to get that flag. So anyway, so this time the action is going to be reject TCPs, the protocol port 4444 for the source, and then it's going into our environment. So it's going to be any for the IP and the any for the port. The message here is just going to be reverse shell prevented slash or hyphen packet rejected, because we're using the reject action here. You can put whatever you want in this message field. SID's going to be here. You can put whatever you want for the SID, and the revision is going to be 1. This time is correct with the colon there, so don't forget that. So let's go ahead and just copy this bad boy over. Control S to save it. We're going to go ahead and close out of this here, and then we're going to run what we did on the last task here. Put in an IPS mode, okay, and this time I'm going to put this dot at the end to reference the default path, I believe. So let's go ahead and clear this out. Paste this in. Let it run. Then I think once it runs for a while, it's going to say that congratulations or whatever on the side here. But as that's running, you can see all kinds of stuff pop up inside of here. Right, so once that's finished running, it should give us that flag on the desktop here if we did everything correctly. So let's go back down a little bit more. There we go. But you see all kinds of things referenced here. Okay, that we can see it running in our role, that 4444, going to our environment here. Once it's finished running, we should be able to get that flag. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video here and then fast forward. All right, looks like this is finished running, and we have the flag here. It says congratulations. Now, one thing to note here, okay, is that you have to exactly do what it says here. If you do not, it will not work. Okay, I was using the same syntax we tried before, right? Similar to this here, if not exactly the same here, and it was running, doing its thing. There was no flag appearing. Okay, so I had to switch it to this here.